Hello and welcome everybody to this Super Fantasy Brawl Round 2 playthrough. Yes, it finally came. Yes, it's time to get excited and break this one out yet again. We are using both sets of the new ones. So I have Khalees, Sir Tentaclot and King Alistair. That's who I am playing against a bot. And yes, it is an actual AI bot because I am using the one-stop co-op shop solo rules for Super Fantasy Brawl in this game. And we are going against Jacques Lebeau, Lily, and Nikit. That's who we are going against. Really excited to play this one. Let's just get into it. So, right here is my starting hand of cards. Bear Before the King, Ibis Strike, Restoration, Reverence, and Heaven's Blessing. Probably need to shuffle these a little bit better because Khalees' cards all seem to be there. But the first challenge, which is over there, is have two champions next to the yellow. So, two champions next to there. That's where we need to be. The traps are all there in a randomized place. You basically have to place the traps where the AI would place them. So next to your closest amount of characters. The AI always spawn there, by the way. So leftmost, center, and rightmost. That's where the AI spawn. And I've just placed their two traps right there. So with that, let's decide what we are going to do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it one of the red tokens and just use it as a move 2 for Khalees. So just put him there like that. Then I'm going to use the blue token, the Ibis Strike. I'm going to move 2 and then 2 away, do 1 damage, and you can pull 1. So pull's pretty much useless, but that means I can move 2. Hit Jacques Lebeau for 1 damage. He's got shields. Meh. Damn it. I could pull though. No, I think I'll leave it. Then for my yellow action, I'm just going to move 2 with Khalees there. Literally nothing I can do this one. It's a bad draw of cards, but we'll just move 2 into the yellow. So it's time for the bot's turn, and the bot has 2 separate decks of cards. It has one for the damage, which is basically reactions. When they take damage, they will react to what you've done. So to see if the reaction gets played, basically. And then you have this separate deck here, and all you do is draw from the top. So the first one is going to be Nikit, and he's going to move 1 and then 3 away. Attack for 2 with a push, it seems. So I'll try and have a look at that card and see what the AI has to do, and then I'll get back to you. So he's going to try and do some damage to the nearest champion, which would be Khalees there, but he's only got 1 move, so he's just going to move closest to the yellow. And he's going to try to attack, but 3 away, as you can see. Can't do nothing, so that's him done. So next up is Crackle Wind, which is once again Nikit. He's going to swoop 2 and then 3 away, attack 2. And if there are no blue cards in your discard pile, this card gains stun. There is no blue cards in the discard pile, so I think he's going to do some damage here. Because he's going to move 2, swoop. And then 3 away, he's going to do 2 damage. And that is going to stun Khalees, who... This is our only card in the pile that we have. So we lose access to that card. And for their third action, they are going to flank with Lily, which is a move 2, a close attack, which would do 2 damage, plus 1 per ally adjacent, and afterwards they are going to dash 3. So they could move 2 to that space closest, They obviously can't attack, and by looking at the rules, it looks like they wouldn't use the -3 because they'd want to get to the yellows, and they'd also want to basically go in a straight line to go for Khalees, and it would go over the trap. They ignore traps as far as I believe and can read in the bot rules. I don't think they would come down to here to Centiclot. Don't think they would. It looks like they would go for the objective, and so we just won't use that power. We'll play it like that. They're not going to come towards us. They would go towards the objective, and it's not beneficial for them. So that's the bot's turn done, and the have 2 or more champions is now worth 1 victory point, but we can't get access to that one, and have 2 champions adjacent to the same statue is the one next up. So if we can get all 3 of ours up to there, next to that yellow statue, we could gain 3 points next round, which would be a big Brucey bonus now, wouldn't it? But this is our hand of cards anyway. We got Die for Your King, Tentacle Strike, 1/8 my strength, and all 8 tentacles. So yeah, let's see what I do. So I'm going to play all 8 tentacles. So we're going to move 1 with the Tentaclot there. 2 to 3 away, so Lily is 2 to 3 away, she's 3 away. We're going to do 2 damage, and it's going to be a double, so that's going to be 2 damage to begin with. We flip over a card. Is it a reaction? It is, and that's going to give her +1. Discard to 3 cards for each blue discarded, gain +1. That doesn't matter, so it's just literally going to be a +1 right there. So she's going to receive 1 damage, and then we're going to do it again. So we have another reaction there that gives a +1. So 2 damage goes through onto Lily, and then we can pull her for 2. And I think we will. For our second action, we're going for the Tentacle Strike. Now, we're not moving. We are in close combat to Lily right there, as you can see. So we're going to hit her for 2 damage, and she is going to react. And it is not a reaction, so she doesn't react to it. So she receives 2 damage for that, and then 2 damage for the poison. That is 4 damage, taking her up to 6 damage. She is knocked out, and so Tentaclot has claimed the first victory. And then he levels up, so he's now got 1 defense, 7 health, which he had 0 and 7. And if Sir Tentaclot is adjacent to a statue, he ignores displacement effects from enemies. That is amazing, because we need to stick him next to the statue right now, don't we? So yeah, that is it. Lily is knocked out, and she will just go into the stands. So Lily is knocked out. I know I should have probably moved Khalees there, but I figured that the victory point for the knockout could be there. And we are now going to use the blue to just move 2 with Sir Tentaclot, putting him in the yellow area, and he can't be displaced either, so that might be useful for us. So the AI is up, and they are going to go for a coup de grace, is Jacques Lebeau. He's first going to dash 2, then he's going to move 2, and he's going to attack 2. So he's going to go for Khalees. So let's do the dashing and the moving. He wants to be in that yellow area, you see, to contest the objective. He's going to do 2 damage, which I just want to see if I can negate it. And I can. I have a glimpse of divinity here, which is a +1 defense. So only 1 hit is going to go through. Cancel all after effects after the attack. There is no after effects, but this attack gains +1 for each red card in your discard pile. there are a total of 2 cards in our discard pile. So whereas he would have done 4 damage, he is instead just going to do 3. And that puts Khalees on 5 damage out of the 7. The AI then go through the shadows with Lily, which says place Lily anywhere on the board except adjacent to a champion. And plan 1, so we can't plan 1. So they would want to get nearest to the yellow, wouldn't they? But they can't. See, there's a champion in that space. There's a champion in that space. Thank God I didn't move him. That has a trap on it, so they can't go there, and there's a champion next to it, so the yellows are full. So the only place which is closest is one of these, isn't it? So I think we'll have to place her there. That's how I think it would work out. And lastly, the bot is going to play on guard. So move 2 and target of 3. So they want to be in the yellows. They want to be near that statue. So they're not going to move. They then have 3 hex target. The only one that they could hit is Khalees. Does 1 damage. And the attack gains 1 damage for each champion targeted. Unfortunately, is only 1. So is that 1 damage? Just 1 damage, or is it 2 damage? I'm going to say it's going to be 2 damage because this gains +1 for each champion targeted, doesn't it? So you're going to get +1 for 1. So that's going to get 2. So it's going to be 2 damage. And that knocks Khalees out. Khalees is unconscious. So it's 1-1 at the start of the 3rd round. And we have control the red area coming into play. But the others are now worth 2 points and 1 point. Yeah, very interesting because I have not got the ability to do anything right now. So let's see what I do. First thing I'm going to do is going to play Long Live the King. And King Alistair is going to get into the action right here. So he's going to move 2. It's then up close and he's going to hit Jack LeBeau for 3, which is going to be 2 because he's got 1 on his thing. And we haven't got a card there, a reaction, so he's going to suffer 2 damage, leaving him with 4 health. And if the target was taken out, I could heal 2, but don't need to. And lastly, for my blue, as I played a red reaction, I'm just going to move Khalees back into the battle and move him 2 right next to the yellow statue. Just like that. So now I have 3 champions adjacent to the same statue. And that will be worth 2 if I can get hold of it next time round, along with 2 or more champions next to it. So I could win the game unless they can stop me in some way. So first thing I'm going to do is Nikit is going to move 1 and then target someone 3 away. And he's going to do 2 damage to them because there's yellow cards in the discard, so it's not going to get a +1. So move 1 and hits a Tentaklot for 2 damage, which is just going to be 1 damage because of his shield. So that's that. So for their second one, they have this Swift Sword Cut. So this is move 2, and then it's a -3. Ignoring traps and champions, deal 1 damage to each enemy champion dashed through. You may exhaust this red core to play again. Now, they don't use the red core, but they do get the advantages of it. So, how to work this one out? So, I think they would go for Sir Tentaklot because basically he is the one with the most damage. So, they're going to move 2, aren't they? And then they're going to dash 3. See if they're going to dash 3, which would be move to there, 1, 2, 3. That's going to land on the trap. But they ignore traps and champions. So, I think that's how it's going to be, isn't it? It's going to be a move to there, then he's going to dash, so dealing 1 damage to Sir Tentaclot, which goes through armor. So then he's going to do it again. Just dash straight through and be stuck in that position right next to. So Sir Tentaclot is blooded on 3 damage. I think that's how to play it, basically. I think that's how it's done. And lastly, they have the Twin Blades again. This is a double card. So let's try and work this one out. So move 2, but needs to be 3 away. Now, Sir Tentaclot is the one we need to hit, right? But she would want to also control the thingy area. So, oh, this is so weird. She wouldn't move on to a trap. Needs to be 3 away. So she could either move to there or move to there. So, let's move to there. Then 3 away. So Sir Tentaclot, that's the one she wants to aim for. It does 1 damage, which unfortunately hits his, his shield. It is doubled, so 1 damage comes through again hitting his shield. And then after, you can play this card again. So she would move back into the red area, basically, wouldn't she? So unfortunately, they haven't been able to break down Sir Tentaclot. So we start all over again. We go into the scoreboard phase, and I have 3 champions adjacent to the same statue. So I gain 2 points. Then I have 2 champions adjacent to the yellow. That's worth 2 points. And yeah, that is it. I have won. They couldn't displace Sir Tentaclot. Now, I think next time round, I'll try it on a harder difficulty because he has more difficulty settings. This was just the normal gain first to 5. Yeah, it seems good. I think there's a few things to look at, like the movement and the dash through ones and things like that. I need to study the automata a little bit more, the bot, but I really enjoyed it. It does seem like a really good solo mode, so props to the One Shop Co-op shop for doing it. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be covering more of this definitely because you know I love this game. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you around.